With the hiatus that began in the Dragon Ball Super manga, and considering it's been a while since we've had a movie or anime from Dragon Ball Super, we're finally seeing Vegeta in a serious fight for the first time in a long time, which a lot of people have been waiting for. But did he disappoint? Honestly, I'm not too happy about it. On top of that, we also got the appearance of the newest villain in Dragon Ball DAIMA. But is he cool? Or is he another disappointment like Majin? Let's talk about it now, with honesty. Stay connected in the channel and let's go to the video. Dragon Ball DAIMA episode 11 is called Legend. It starts with the Namekian Neva, who, as we saw in the last episode, was secretly observing Goku and the others as he approached their ship. The group notices Neva and goes to talk to him. Seeing that they managed to obtain one of the Dragon Balls, Neva starts singing like a lunatic. Vegeta comments that the guy has lost his mind and suggests they leave, but Piccolo doesn't buy it and tells Neva he knows who he is. When Neva sees Piccolo, he says he reminds him of someone named Katats. Piccolo responds that Katats was his father. Piccolo accuses Neva of pretending to be crazy because he already knew the consequences of his actions, referring to going to Earth to use its Dragon Balls. And it seems Piccolo is right, since Neva quickly drops the act. Piccolo asked why Neva requested that they be turned into children. Neva explains it was a wish made by Goma and shares the reason behind it. Goma, who is watching all of this, gets furious that Neva is spilling the beans. Piccolo then asks what Neva would have done if the wish had been something else. Neva admits he would have played the fool and tried to disrupt things somehow, showing just how sneaky he is. Piccolo asks if Neva foresaw Dinde being kidnapped. He replies that he did, and explains that without Dinde, the Earth's Dragon Balls could never be used. Piccolo then asks what Neva would do if Goma killed Dende. Neva says Goma would never do that since Namekians are too valuable. However, he didn't anticipate that they'd be able to acquire the Dragon Balls from the Demon Realm. Goku explains why they're after the Dragon Balls, and Neva doesn't seem entirely opposed to their motives. He might even be relieved they're not planning to use the Dragon Balls for anything evil. When Pansy learns that Neva is the creator of the Dragon Balls and the Tamagamis, she remarks that someone like him could probably even defeat the Supreme Demon King. Neva responds that a Namekian should never use their powers to incite conflict. At this moment, everyone looks at Piccolo, considering his past misuse of his powers. As they prepare to leave, Neva asks to join them. They refuse, but Neva points out that to use the Dragon Balls, they'll need to speak the Namekian language. Goku asks Piccolo if he knows it, and Piccolo admits he doesn't, since he's been on Earth for so long. Realizing they can't use the Dragon Balls without Neva, the group reluctantly agrees to let him join, though Glorio doesn't seem thrilled about it. About Piccolo not knowing the Namekian language. Guys, I find that kinda odd. First, it's strange to think that in all the time Dende has been on Earth, Piccolo never showed any interest in learning it. And even if Piccolo wasn't interested, part of him is made up of Nail, who spent his entire life on Namek before the battle with Frieza. So, wouldn't Piccolo have inherited some of Nail's knowledge? I might be wrong, but I think he inherited part of Kami's knowledge. Anyway, maybe there's some explanation for this that I'm forgetting. If you know of any, drop it in the comments to refresh my memory. And don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any of the Dragon Ball content we post here. Alright, now continuing. At Arinsu's house, she, Majin, and Marba are discussing the failure of Majin fight against Tamagami number 1. Arinsu tells Marba that they might not have used enough of Majin Buu's essence, which leaves Marba deep in thought. Marba then grabs the remaining essence of Majin Buu and they decide to try again. She also picks up their last Saibamen seed. Marba wants to plant the seed at a depth of 10 centimeters, but Arinsu suggests they go for 20 centimeters, since it's their last chance. Marba hesitates, worrying that this new being might lose control and cause chaos. Apparently, the deeper you plant the seed, the more powerful the being becomes, but it also increases the chances of it losing control. Arinsu insists that she needs someone strong enough to defeat the Tamagamis. Otherwise, even if she manages to rule, her reign won't last long. On the ship, the group wants to know more about Neva, like why he lives alone on that planet and didn't leave with the other Namekians. He explains that he wants to keep the planet safe for when the others return, implying he hopes the Namekians will come back to the demon realm. They also ask why he created the Tamagamis. Neva responds that at first the Dragon Balls in this realm were meant as a sort of reward for the Namekians' efforts, but over time, bad people learned about them and started using them for evil purposes. So he decided to make access to the Dragon Balls more difficult. Goku gets frustrated with how slow the ship is, clearly eager to face the next Tamagami, but Vegeta tells him to calm down because he's the one who'll fight the next Tamagami since Goku already fought one. Goku tries to appeal to Neva, asking if two different people can take on the Tamagami challenges. Neva says it's possible as long as it's one-on-one, meaning Vegeta can fight without issue. Meanwhile, back at Dr. Arinsu's place, the newest Majin is created, Majin Du, and, well, if Majin Ku was already a bit odd, Majin Du is even weirder. Not only is he more eccentric, but he also seems less intelligent than Ku. Majin Du has a lot of similarities to Fat Majin Buu, including a love for chocolate. Majin Ku and Majin Du hit it off right away since Majin Ku apparently always wanted a brother. The word always seems odd, coming from someone who's only been alive for a day, maybe a little more. Majin Du asks what he's supposed to do, and Arinsu tells him he has to fight the Tamagami. In the second world, the group finally arrives at Tamagami number 2. Meanwhile, in the first world, Tamagami number 1 is challenged again, this time by Majin Du. As soon as the fight begins, Tamagami number 1 is shocked by Majin Du's combat style, which is even stranger than Majin Ku's. Surprisingly, Du starts the fight off strong, landing some hits and successfully dealing with the Tamagami's initial attacks. Du seems to be learning how to fight as he goes, clearly still figuring out the extent of his abilities. In the second world, the group reaches Tamagami number 2, and as Vegeta prepares for the battle, Pansy explains the process to Bulma. Pansy is somewhat doubtful of Vegeta's chances, but Bulma has complete confidence in her husband. Back in the first world, Goma and Degesu are watching everything, and Goma looks worried. He's already aware of Vegeta's capabilities. Vegeta approaches the Tamagami and challenges him. However, the Tamagami is surprised to see a kid there and tells him to go home and nurse on his mother's chest. Man, Vegeta is getting zero respect in this anime. The Tamagami then notices Neva is there, realizes this is serious, and apologizes to Vegeta. And then the fight begins. Vegeta and the Tamagami immediately go all out, with the Tamagami using his weapon extensively and Vegeta handling the attacks effectively. But it doesn't take long for Vegeta to gain the upper hand, landing a series of blows on the Tamagami, followed by a point-blank energy explosion. Goma and Degesu are impressed by what they see, as is Pansy, who admits that she underestimated the Saiyan Prince, but now acknowledges how amazing he is. However, the Tamagami shows he's not playing around and begins to counterattack Vegeta, even injuring his face and leaving him worried. Back in the first world, Tamagami number 1 struggles against Majin Du, not because Du is overwhelmingly powerful, but because his unpredictable moves make him hard to counter. In the second world, Vegeta starts losing ground to Tamagami number 2, who intensifies his attacks and drives Vegeta into the sea. At this point, a Kraken appears and attacks Vegeta, worrying everyone. The Kraken tries to swallow Vegeta, but with great effort, Vegeta escapes and surfaces. However, the Tamagami is waiting for him above and lands a hit that sends Vegeta right back into the Kraken's mouth, which swallows him and retreats into the sea. And that's how episode 11 of Dragon Ball DAIMA ends. In the preview for the next episode, we find out that episode 12 will be titled True Strength. We see Vegeta unconscious somewhere, probably inside the Kraken. Then we see what seems to be Goku fighting the Kraken, probably trying to help Vegeta. We get a few more frames of Majin Duu's battle against Tamagami number 1. Next, Goma appears, either worried or complaining about something. And finally we see Tamagami number 1 kneeling, apparently very tired and injured, but his eyes start to glow, which indicates he's about to get serious or unleash some power. So guys, what did you think of this episode? I thought it was a pretty cool episode that balanced action with dialogue and information nicely. But there were a few things that didn't sit right with me. First, I still can't accept that characters as powerful as Goku and Vegeta, capable of destroying solar systems and maybe even entire galaxies, see this Kraken as any kind of threat. That just doesn't make sense to me at all. Another thing that bothered me was Vegeta. Even when he started being pushed back by the Tagami and was about to be swallowed by the Kraken, he didn't transform into a Super Saiyan. Guys, we know that for Goku and Vegeta, maintaining the Super Saiyan transformation isn't hard at all. So from the start, there's not much reason for them to want to fight in their base form. But okay, I can accept that they want to save energy or avoid showing too much power and stuff like that. But not transforming even in a dangerous situation, that doesn't make sense to me. I also wasn't a big fan of Majin. I think it's about time Dragon Ball DAIMA finally introduces a serious villain. If Majin wasn't that villain, I was hoping Majin would be. But what can we do, right? Still, there's a lot of interesting stuff coming in the next episode. I want to see Vegeta finally take the fight seriously, transforming into Super Saiyan and Super Saiyan 2. I'm curious to see how this battle between Majin and Tagami number 1 will end, and I'm really interested in what Neva will do. I still think he's not what he seems, and will surprise us in some way. Overall, I think I'll give this episode a 7 out of 10. But now I want to hear from you. What score would you give this episode of Dragon Ball DAIMA? What did you like and dislike about it? Let me know in the comments. Make sure to leave a like if you haven't yet, subscribe to the channel, and share this video with other Dragon Ball fans you know. See you next time. Peace out.